Joe,
Dude,
I'm
he
off
was on the
today.
couch yesterday when I talked to him, Joe.
I'm
He
off
goes, I'm
today.
taking a nap. I'm
16
taking a
hours
nap.
yesterday.
I slept 2 hours in the
No
middle
way
of the day,
he's tired.
which on a Sunday is like freaking huge.
Yeah.
for me.
16 hours.
You're not going to see my my pants, right?
No, your pants look good, man.
All right, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Denise?
they look good.
I'll start. All right, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
Colin, Mike. We got a special guest with us today. We got Joe Syracusa from Jazz Pro Properties. Joe, a little hand for Joe. All right. So what I thought we would do today, guys, is just kind of talk about the things that Joe's really the expert on. I mean, here in Rochester, a lot of people know who he is. He does a ton of flips. He does a ton of buy and holds. He has many, many properties that he owns. And, I just figured we would direct some questions to you, Joe, because I think that everyone, I talk to, you meet somebody at a bar, like, oh, you're in real estate. You're like, oh, that's great. What do you do? Oh, I want to flip houses. I see these guys on TV. They could do it. I got to, somebody that's going to help us, finance the deal. And, we're going to get in to start flipping. And I always tell people, well, it's not that easy. So I guess, if I could start off with the first question.
Yeah.
What exactly is the false advertising, if you will, from when you go to flip a house? What is the people would think that they know, but they really don't know about?
Well, the first thing I would start with is when you're doing your inspection on a house, you got to make sure that everything adds up properly. Yeah, you got to take the purchase price of it, what you need to put into it. The cost of materials obviously has gone up significantly over the past few years. So you got the roof is super expensive now. The main things I look at are the foundation, the roof, the siding. Those are very expensive. And you just want to make sure that the foundation's good, because you can't build off a bad foundation. And if you're using, private money to get the loan, you're going to want to make sure that all your expenses are allocated properly. If you're doing private money, it's usually 12 and 2.
Now tell us a little bit. So we say 12 and 2. Like, I know what that means because, you helped me get into that. But what does 12 and 2 mean?
So 12 and 2, it's in layman's terms, you're going to pay 12% interest, and 2 is 2 points, which is 2%. So just use 100,000 for round numbers. If you're borrowing 100,000, you're going to pay 12%, which is $12,000, and you're going to pay 2 points, which is 2,000. A lot of private money people do 12-month minimum, 12-month maximum, which means you have to use the money for 1 year, minimally and maximally. So if you pay it off in 6 months, you still owe for 12. If you use it for 12 months, you pay it for 12 months. So a lot of times private money lenders, I would be very cautious on the terms when you enter the agreement with them. And read it. Make sure you have an attorney involved so they can look out for your best interest.
Right.
And just make sure that, you dot your I's, cross your T's, because there's a lot of people out there that are good, and there's a lot of people out there that aren't good.
So let me just ask this question. I'll let the guys jump in here, but I know you and I do a lot of stuff together, so I'm just curious. But so when you did your very first flip house, what was like when you got into your first house? What was like something that you thought of? Well, hey, this is something they didn't tell you.
So
you know what I mean? Because there's always that something that you're like, oh, I didn't realize that.
Remember when I started buying, it was a long time ago.
Okay.
So the market was totally different than it is today, which the only difference is you need more money today to buy the same houses that you used to be able to buy for a lot less.
True.
But the valuations are a lot more.
Right.
So $100,000 7-8 years ago, you're paying $150 now, but instead of it being worth $150, it's worth $250.
Right.
So the first house that I bought was in Gates. The roof, I did not know the roof needed to be done. There was 2 layers on there already, so I couldn't go another layer.
Because the law is 2 layers.
layers
You're
max.
only allowed to do 2 layers. Yeah.
So I had to do a full tear off, and then the furnace was bad. So that was 2 big expenses that I didn't account for.
Yeah, that's a big
That
one.
could sink you.
I think that
So that was
especially on
that
your
was
first
too
one.
bad.
Yeah, I'm sure everything's kind of just moving parts and tight financial wise. I mean, especially on a first one.
Yeah.
So your first flip is very important. If you mess up on your first one, like if you overpay for it or you don't account for like a lot of the things that are wrong with it, the chance of you doing a second, third, and fourth is probably slim to none.
Yeah.
All right, so let's stop there for a second. So when we talk about making that very, very important, and I know I run this for you all the time. You're like, hey, would you run some numbers on me for this particular house?
Yeah.
We do that because you want to see what the margin's going to be. You want to say, okay, well, I'm going to buy the house for this price, right?
Yeah.
And based on this price, I'm going to have to put this into it. What is top dollar getting us in the neighborhood? That's where us real estate agents come in, and we help these investors, we help these flippers to understand this is what you need to put into it. This is what I think you're going to be able to get out of it. And I'm always very conservative to be safe because it's not my, I'm going to be very careful because, I want to work more with you and do a lot more things with you. So I want to make sure that my numbers are conservatively good. So you're still going to make your money and
you don't want to base it upon the highest you could possibly get or the lowest you could possibly get. You're going to want to base it upon average market value. So if it could do 250 but should do 230, base it on 230.
That's 100%.
Yep.
100%.
And then also a lot of people they forget about the commissions.
Yeah.
Right. When they go to sell it, 6%. Or unless you negotiate it out, but 6%, which is what they should base it on.
Right.
At a $200,000 sale is $12,000.
Right.
So a lot of times people go into this to buy and they're buying with a $30,000 margin.
Right.
They're going to make $30,000 after it's all said and done. But they forget that if it's a $200,000 house, they still owe $12,000 to the realtor. So now instead of $30,000, now they're at 18 on best case scenario.
Right.
So you have to have a big enough window.
Is there a dollar amount that you won't do? Of course, I know the answer to this question. I'm leading you into this, but is there a dollar amount that you won't do? Like if you can't bring it back into your pocket that you wouldn't do?
I mean, I always like to do a lot for about 20%. So if you're putting up $100,000, I like to make 20. Because 20 turns into 10 really quick. If you open a wall up and it's all rotted.
Right. Yeah, planning for the worst kind of thing.
There's mold in the attic. I mean, there's so many scenarios.
Right.
The electric panel won't pass, inspection. The furnace is not up to date, or there's so many different things that can happen. But yeah, if you leave a 20% window, you should be able to make money.
So I know, Mike, you and I were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And I know you do some flips yourself, right?
Yeah, a few here and there.
So,
but my strategy is a little bit different, though.
Okay, but we were talking that you said that you had your own guys, which from a marginal standpoint, if you have your own guys, you're going to obviously be able to save a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you're going into this new, right? If you're going into this new, and you're like, okay, this is my first one. I don't have a plumber, I don't have a drywall guy, I don't have a roofer. You don't have all these people lined up. It can obviously cost you guys more money to do that too. So make sure that you really pay attention to that too, because if you don't have guys on staff, they're going to give you the best pricing and help you out. I mean,
even just from a timing standpoint between carrying costs, and especially if you are using private money, of course you have that year window, but still wanting to turn it around and get it out the door, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. We were just talking about this the other day with carrying costs. That is the invisible deal.
Yeah, nobody plans for carrying costs.
No.
Yeah, right. And you also got to plan for the house could sit for 3-4 months.
Right.
Possibly.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not with myself or you guys running it because we get it sold really
Of
quick,
course.
But in the same token, had it in there. So what other? Do you have any good stories for us? And I know that one of the very first ones you and I ever did was off of Park Avenue, Aladdin's Restaurant. I'll never forget that. They had to be 10 years ago at least.
That was one for the books for sure.
Do you have any funny stories, any interesting stories that you would be willing to share? If not, I totally understand. But
I have so many different stories. We don't have enough time for it.
Let's talk about the dog real quick. We got to tell that story because that story is hysterical. So let me set the stage for everyone. So we Anthony and I we send Joe over to go do this evaluation and do some different things. And the deal was going to be great. It's right over by Aladdin's Restaurant. So it was right.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
Was it Eden?
It was, I forget. It was like one of those perfect little side streets. It was this. It was
Right
like,
on Park, right?
It was right off of
Probably
Park.
sits between Park and Monroe. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember what it is now. I'm drawing a total blank. It was 10 years ago. But Joe goes over to do his thing with they look through the house, and the lady's in the chair, right? And he calls me up. He goes, and I can't say the words on camera right now, but why don't you explain the situation to them?
I walk in and she's sitting over here, and there was always a dog that always came running up to me.
Yeah.
Every time I get there, a little dog. It was an old dog. It was lumps everywhere.
It was old dog.
It was an old dog.
Old
Super
dog.
friendly, but super
Yeah.
old.
Yep.
And I remember walking in, and no dog. I'm like, oh, where's the dog? You
Yeah.
know? And she's like, he's right there. And I see this blanket covering this animal. And I'm thinking he's sleeping.
Oh,
No,
no.
he's gone. He's
gone.
gone.
So what
Oh,
did she ask
she
you?
left him there.
So we get a call. Anthony and I get a call from Joe. What the fuck? Because I had to carry the dog out of the house. What do you have to do? You have to carry the dog.
We had to bring the dog to get cremated.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Yeah.
He goes, never again. He goes, do I ever go? You know, I mean, I don't know how that happened, but you're a good guy. So if you do happen to find an animal that
was an
unfortunately has
interesting
passed away in the
situation,
house,
That was
that was
a long time ago.
that
but
was one of the ones I'll never forget.
one of the
That
first
phone call.
ones.
Yeah. I thought we were never going to work with Joe again after that, but
Yeah, what the hell are you guys sending me to?
that was
Yeah.
pretty good. That was
That was an
hysterical.
interesting one.
Colin, do you have any questions for Joe?
So, I mean, I guess in terms of like like we all know, like the YouTube kind of craze, it's like, okay, you see something on the internet of some kid or some dude flipping property. I mean, and we know that like it's very off touch because like we'll get people that call in from out of state or they're not local and like want to do the flip thing, but kind of tie it back into like, you know, not having your own guys. It's like, well, you know, you don't have those relations. So I can't imagine like on a first one, like, you know, if maybe somebody who's thinking about going into it, right, should probably start with that first and at least start developing some connections on the back end. So when something does pop in front of you to kind of move the needle along a little bit, I think people get attached to it on social media and just don't necessarily realize it's like, no, there's kind of a lot of back end things that go into this that are
This is
just
not-
completely overlooked.
People watch way too much HGTV.
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
talked about this. I mean,
It's
and
not easy.
It's not
just
that easy.
not.
It's not
It's just
easy.
not.
You got to have the capital to do it. And by the way, you got to have the cojones to do it too. Because to Joe's point earlier, he said, "Listen, the first one is so important because if that one doesn't work out, pretty much your career as a flipper.
Yeah, where's your leverage going? Yeah.
You're it's going to be because you need to take that money and
It's
leverage
make or
it into
break
something
at that
else.
point.
Right?
You got to keep it going.
You got to make sure you're doing the right one, which then again comes back to us real estate agents, making sure that we go through the house with them if they're not as skilled as Joe is. I mean, Joe points stuff out sometimes I don't even see. So he knows, but not every beginner understands these types of situations, right? And it's very important that we help them be successful the first time.
Now, so when you're looking at something, and I know just because like of you know you and Tommy doing it, but like when you see something on paper at first, will you just? I mean, because I think it's kind of helpful to run it both ways. Like, will you run it as a buy and hold as well?
So
up front, at least.
It's a good question.
That's a great question.
A lot of times, so if you get stuck, so say you buy the house,
Right?
with
Yeah,
full
planning for the
intention to
worst
flip
kind
it.
of thing.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
So but if it's your first or second one and you are planning for a flip,
you got to go.
and you get stuck,
Yeah,
now you're holding it,
right.
Because you're going to lose,
Right.
Right. So then it turns into a hold rather than a flip. So my hold numbers versus flip numbers are different.
Of course.
So obviously, if I'm holding it because of the area, I love the school district, whatever it is, I'll go tighter.
Okay.
And when I say that, if I was going to go 150,000 because I needed to flip it, I might go 170 if I'm going to hold it.
Right.
Because I don't need the big window because it's a long term.
I can get it done, and then we'll work the balance down over time. Yeah.
And Joe, what is it? I've heard people say, you know, I'm leading you to another question here. The 1% rule.
So when you want to rent it, it's gone up from the 1% rule. But if the house is say 200,000, you want to rent it for $2,000 minimum.
Minimum. Yep.
So because taxes, insurance, and if you're using private money, it's super expensive.
Right.
Or even just interest rates alone. I mean, you're 7.5, depending on if it's your primary residence, which it would be a rental, so it wouldn't be primary.
And plus, you know, it's 20% down too.
Well, and there's usually, you're usually another point higher on the interest, with any investment.
So on a 200,000, just to finance it, you're 20% down. That's $40,000.
Right.
So you got to have some, you know, you put a lot of skin in the game to get off the ground.
Okay.
But
now, is there when you go to like we'll pivot over to the buy and hold here a little bit. When you go to put a house out there after you've finished it, you've completed it, and you're gonna hold it, you're gonna market it for people to rent. What's that process look like for you?
So I started using Zillow property management to market them, I guess.
Okay.
Honestly, my best avenue is Facebook.
Okay.
It just seems Craigslist is full of scammers.
Right.
You get everybody calling. They're out of town. They're moving into town. They want to Venmo you, or they want to meet have somebody meet there and give you the money, but the check's no good. I won't do it.
Too much sifting. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I do a lot on Facebook. Because this way, when someone inquires about it, you can kind of research them a little bit before.
Right.
You
Yeah.
call
You
them.
have a profile to go
Yes,
off
you
of.
can
Yeah,
do their
for sure.
profile
For sure.
and
Do due diligence.
Yes. And I love doing that because, a lot of people post stuff that, is good and not good.
Yep.
Right. And I think from a screening perspective too, it's like, and we see it all the time just dealing with investment stuff, but it's like, it does matter who goes in there.
Absolutely.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, you get people that, and of course, stuff happens. They trash the unit on the way out or whatever the case is. Stuff does happen, but, doing as much as you can, especially, again, like your first investment property, even if it is just a buy and hold, like you kind of have to dig your heels into the tenant, you know?
It's easy to get them in. It's very hard.
Right,
To get
anybody will sign anything. Yeah. Are you going to pay?
So when did you buy your first property? When?
2010, 11.
And you have how many now in 2026? I know you have over 50. He's got over 50. I know the number. He's
What
a humble
does,
guy, so he's not going to tell everybody what he's got.
that's
He's a humble guy.
That's all right.
So he's got over 50 properties. And, the thing is, Mike, I think you were just going to go there. That first property, how long did you wait and what were the next triggers for you to say, okay, I'm good, I'm able to go do something else? Help me understand that.
So once I rented the first property, I knew, so my Uncle Joe, Coco, he's passed. But anyway, he was the one who got me started.
Right.
He made all his money in real estate.
Right.
So once I saw that he was able to acquire and what he had, I knew I wanted it.
Right.
And real estate's been a part of anybody that I know that's super successful has had or have their hands in real estate.
Right.
Right.
So I knew that was the avenue I wanted to go down.
Right.
So once I got my first one, he's the one who taught me 5 is a business, 10 is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you own some of the 10, I mean, you could literally live on the income.
For sure.
If you use 10 properties in good areas, $2,000 a month is 20,000. 20,000 you're bringing in.
Yep.
It's $250,000 a year, minus expenses and everything else. If you own a good amount of them,
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers don't lie.
You're going to be okay.
You're gonna
be okay.
And then if you want to stop there, stop.
Right.
Or 5.
Yeah. Do with what's in comfort. Yeah.
I mean, 10 if they're worth say they're worth 250,000.
Yeah.
It's $2.5 million.
Right.
So once you pay them off, I mean, you got a nice egg sitting there.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And you could always scale it. 10 turns into 12, 15, 20.
Right. And, having that fluidity to look at the portfolio and be like, okay, I do have all this free equity from all the years. And it's like, okay, what can I do with it? How
and
can I
use
leverage
the equity
it?
to kind of build.
Yep.
It's the, what do they call it? The Burr method.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Does that still work?
I do it differently, but it does. A lot of guys do it. But like I said, you have to buy it right. Because if you overpay
That's what
for
it
it
comes
and
down to.
overmake it, if you make it too, if you put too much money into it, there's nothing to burr out.
Well, and I think a
Right.
common misconception with that is you can't do that, and then you have to hold it. You kind of signed yourself up for a little bit of a time stay with whatever property that you did that on. Because Steve and I were just talking about it recently. That's another one of those social media things that's constantly pumped out there
Yes.
that you
Especially
can
in
do
our
that.
area.
Right. But if you get yourself in a position where you've just completely over leveraged yourself, let's say you've got a bad property, it's a 4 unit, none of the doors are paying. Okay, well, I want to sell it. Well, you have to spend the money to get everybody out of there. You've already pulled money on it and you want to sell it.
Yep.
You owe a big balance on that.
Yeah,
So
those-
it's tough. So it has to be, okay, I'm going to do this. And that's fine if you do it, but with the understanding that you can't just dump the thing. You have to hold it for a little while.
Right.
Especially multifamily more than single family, arguably. I mean, single family, you might find a way out. But I mean, multifamily, that's going to be tough.
If it's vacant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a single family that you're trying to, sometimes cash for keys always works, right?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I've done that a lot.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do that.
Because at the end of the day,
I feel like that's an underused thing here in this market, too.
It definitely is.
Well, you know why it's
100%.
good?
I like it.
It's good because the majority of the time the people that are in there don't have anything to put towards another
They don't
place.
have anywhere to go or no
So
money
if you're
to
giving
go
them the
anywhere.
opportunity to take that money, hey, listen, I'm going to pay your security or whatever, first rent or whatever it is. You're giving those people, an opportunity to get out, and they're like, okay,
Yeah, I
I'll
think
get out,
that's
but I need to
extremely
use some help.
underused here.
Right.
Extremely.
I love it.
Not enough people do it. I mean, and it makes sense, even if it, like, that's the thing. Even when we come across tenant occupied stuff, like on the MLS, I was just thinking about it this morning. Like, I have a lady that's looking, needs to own or occupy a 2-family. And like, we all know how hard it is to just find one of those vacant that you can close and sleep there on top of it. So it's like, yeah, we had that conversation. Like, it may be a cash for keys kind of conversation if they're open to it, of course. It's an avenue to go down.
You're going to find a lot of people, man. They're open to it.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause at the end of the day, there's a common denominator. They're leaving.
Right.
Either they're going to leave with money or they're going to leave with nothing.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, there's
And the money makes it sting a little less bad,
just-
as it
yeah.
would for anybody.
I mean, at the end of the day, it helps.
Right.
So if they're helping you, you help them.
Everything
It's kind of
works.
a good, it's a win-win.
Right.
So I want to ask him a question.
Yeah.
Colin, this is based on something you personally experienced with one of your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you were to go in and somebody was, new, like let's say it's me, I want to buy my first flip, right? And you're like, Tom, I'll go with you to make sure you're doing the right thing. What is the first thing you're going to look at to make sure that you don't get taken or you're going to buy a good property?
What do you mean walking in? Like,
So like if I asked you to come into a property with me, or let me take that different direction. If we're going into a flip that someone's already flipped
And you're the buyer.
and you're the buyer, you know where I'm going with this one, and you know where I'm going with this one.
Dude.
What exactly would you be looking for to make sure that person is, hey, listen, I know this is a flip. Let's make sure that they did the right things.
Well, because I know the situation, it's hard. I know the people, and I know who's a good flipper and a bad flipper, so it's hard for me to say.
Right.
I look at, like I said, I start a foundation for everything. I go into the basement.
Foundation, okay, foundation, yeah.
I look at the basement.
Maybe some craftsmanship type stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely look at that. How things are. I look at the kitchen, the plumbing, the electric. Obviously, if it's sewer,
Mm-hmm.
Septic.
Yep.
Sewer, septic, it's a big one.
I do my own septic inspection. I won't
Yep.
trust anybody's that they did it. Yeah,
Yep.
right. I know that story.
What are you looking for in the basement?
So if you looked, I looked down the walls. I'm dealing with one right now that when I bought the house, probably 10 years ago now,
Oh, gosh.
finished basement.
Yeah. So it was covered
Oh,
up.
so finished basements, right? So it had
So it's
drywall over it or
drywall
whatever?
over
Okay.
everything, basement, drop ceiling,
Okay.
the
Yep.
ceiling and everything. We had that bad rainstorm about 2 months ago now. I
Yeah.
think it was 2 months.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was bad.
Dude, that flooded everything.
Yeah, it
Oh,
could, yeah,
yeah.
poured.
This house, I never had an issue there. All of a sudden, it flooded. So carpets, drywall, everything.
Everything's
So we
gotta
had the
come
saw
down.
cut all the way up, get the dehumidifiers, get the fans, put new carpet, finish the drywall, do it all.
Yeah.
Outside, I regraded it outside, put new gutter spouts on. I thought it was all set. Well, the last rainstorm that we had maybe 3 weeks ago now,
Yeah.
3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
flooded again.
Ugh.
Oh,
So
Did you
I'm
hear
like,
anything yesterday or no?
No.
Good.
It was good
Well,
yesterday.
no,
Good.
It's already in fixing.
Yeah, we're
So
already
I
good.
So I called the tenant that lived there. He called me. I'm like, listen, I need to gut the basement. I can't
leave it like
keep
that.
doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what. There's obviously a bigger issue that I can't see.
Right.
That's what happened when we
Ugh.
pulled all the drywall off the wall. In the one wall, there was like a 3-inch pitch on the wall.
Ooh.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the
That's
gap was
that's scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Man.
that was the issue.
Okay.
So all the water pressure behind the wall, because there
It's
was
just
no weep
sitting
holes, was
there.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
Pushing pressure and pressure and pressure. And every 10 years, 20 years, I don't know how long.
Right. Yeah.
Probably since I owned it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now it's become an issue.
Yep.
So we
Man.
gutted it right down to the walls. Now I have my concrete guy going over, the mason.
Mhm.
He has to jack the house, support it on the one wall, pull the wall out, dig it from the outside, build the wall again, set the house back down on it. I mean, that's a humongous job.
That's a huge
Yeah,
job.
oh my
It's a
God.
That's why
massive
I
job.
say-
Yeah.
You got to have a good masonry. You shout out to Johnny,
Johnny, John Brickler.
John Brickler, who's a great mason. If you guys need some help with anything,
Unbelievable. But
Yep.
if you're not in the business or you don't have friends and
Yeah.
you don't know somebody, you could spend like a normal job like that to rebuild the wall. You could be 20, 30,000.
Easy.
Easy.
I mean, there goes years and years of profit.
Of return, yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
It's gone.
You're holding that thing for a long
Yep.
time now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
But fortunately for me, he's a friend of mine. We do a lot of work together.
Right.
But yes, it's still something that I did not foresee.
Mhm.
But that's why finished basements are always tough for me because you
Yeah,
can't
they
see
make me
what's
a little
behind.
nervous
You
too.
can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never saw that.
Right.
Obviously,
Right.
once I pulled the
It's like, oh yeah,
drywall
here
off
we
and
go.
everything,
Yeah.
the demo guy called me. He goes, "Hey man, you should probably stop over here and take a peek at this." And I'm like, "I'm busy. What's going on?" He's like, "Your one wall is really bad. You got like a 3-inch lean in it." I'm like,
Ugh.
"What?"
Yeah.
So, yeah. So when
That's
you get
crazy.
there, you got a pit in your stomach. Because
Yeah.
you know it's not $1,000 fix.
No, it's not going to be cheap.
So-
Anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's in the process now, but to dig out the wall, support the house, rebuild the wall, bring in all the fill, put
Yep.
it back against. I mean, it's a huge job.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's why foundation is so important to me. Because it's number one, it's very expensive to work on. And this is a ranch. If it's a 2-story house, it's even more expensive.
Right.
I bet.
So that's why it's important to me. I always look down the wall and just make sure you can see it. If you're looking at the wall, there's cracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's cracks that are just stress cracks, and then there's vertical cracks. If you got
Right.
vertical crack, you got a real big problem.
That's an issue.
Vertical cracks.
Yep.
Horizontal, I mean, it could be pressure behind the wall and not grading properly. As long as it's not huge, it's
Yeah,
not,
like those little hairline fractures
that's
that you
fine.
see.
Ones
Yeah.
that are like,
Yeah.
in, like in the mortar and
But yeah,
stuff.
yes.
But if it's through the block, then
Yeah.
you have a
I mean,
large
and
issue.
like you were kind of alluded to before, just because you're in that sector where there's flippers. I mean, I say it. I find myself saying it all the time. Like, there's no in between on a flipper. They either do really good work or they just don't,
very correct.
and it stands out. Like, and that's the other thing. Like the little stuff. I know it's all cosmetic and it can be fixed. It's like, all right, but if you were cutting corners there, how much attention
You're
to
cutting corners
detail
on the little
did we
stuff.
go with
Yep.
with everything else?
Yep, you're
Yeah.
cutting the big one.
So that's kind of the stuff that makes me nervous about it too.
Right. Because you know, the thing is when you're bringing a first-time home buyer into some of these flips, you're like, oh my gosh, everything's so clean, everything looks so
Brand new.
good.
Ignore it.
I mean,
yeah,
these-
literally
but
ignore
you gotta
it.
be careful. You gotta
Yeah.
look at everything
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
just
pick it
because
apart.
it's lipstick on a pig, if you will.
Yeah, you
right?
got white walls
gotta
and
be
stainless
really-
steel
you gotta be
everywhere.
really careful,
yeah,
man, because-
subway tile. Like, yeah, ignore all that.
You
We got to get
gotta-
into the basement.
You got to have an agent, guys, or someone who like Joe that could go with you to really make sure that you're
Yeah.
paying attention to
Yeah.
to these finer details that I think
And that's the thing,
average
too.
consumer wouldn't know.
Right. And like, I think from a timing standpoint too, like even more so to be a detail oriented, sometimes these places are getting turned around in a few months.
Yeah.
You're getting through them quick, depending on what needs to be
They
done,
don't
of
wanna hold the
course.
house for that long,
Right. Yeah. So
And
it's
then
like,
the waving and home inspections.
yeah, because then you're caught in that field too. It's
It's
like,
a big thing.
right. And like, how many times you see something on the MLS where the, property condition disclosure unknown the whole way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Uh,
so it's like you
More
kind
times
of
than
gotta go
not.
looking. Yeah.
more times than not. More times.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, just stuff like that. Like, just get into it a little bit and slow down when you're looking.
100%.
Little red flags like that, like
Yeah.
on like flipped houses that are quote unquote turnkey, but have unknown ripped all the way down the PCD.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
you gotta look out.
I've
for
been in a
stuff like
turnkey house and I touched the paneling. My hand went right through it.
that. Oh,
Soaking
great.
wet.
Great.
Brand new, though. Everything was brand new.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question for you. I know we're kind of jumping around here, but when it comes to scaling, right? Overall, your entire portfolio, what does that look like? So singles, doubles, multis, commercial, whatever, right? That's first part question. Second part question, how did you go from 2 to 3 to 3 to 4 to 4 to 5 type of thing?
So I ran 2 companies. I owned a trucking company, which is, really that's how I was able to fund the property company. The trucking company was doing well, and I took the money that was, instead of just blowing it or buying cars and just stupid stuff, I invested it. So I was fortunately able to take the money from the trucking company and invest it into the property company with the vision that eventually I would sell the trucking company, which I did,
Yep.
and I would just do the real estate. So for me, that's how I did it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But to scale, I would say, like I said, your first one's the most important. Once you get your first and second one done, do a cash out refi on them and buy your third and fourth. And then hopefully you get a real big score in between where, you know, the market will appraise or it'll
Right.
appraise higher, and you
Yep.
can maybe buy 2 with the purchase of 1.
Right.
Okay.
So then you go from
Right.
3 to 6, and then 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Kinda
Okay.
go that way.
So what would you say to investors, the short-term investors that want to buy like 2 to 3 to 4 houses inside of like a 12 to 18-month window?
So
You can be honest, by
I
the way.
only do suburbs.
Suburbs.
So
Okay.
that's the big thing for me.
Okay. That's important.
City properties the laws are very different in the city.
Very.
So
Very.
for me,
Yep.
the suburbs work.
Yep.
The city, there's more. It's more difficult.
There's just
Yeah.
more red tape with
There is.
everything.
There's
Yeah.
more opportunity, but high risk, high reward type of
Yes.
thing.
So
you know?
to
Well,
me, you get better clientele in the suburbs.
Yep.
But you get higher rents.
Right.
So it kind of works hand in hand. And also, you pay more for a suburb property than typically you pay for a city property,
Sure.
Right.
unless you're down in Cornhill or some.
Yeah, you're certain
super
pockets.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
There's
yeah.
there's
Those little
expensive.
Or
pockets.
park or whatever. Yeah.
Now, did
Park,
you,
East,
when
yeah.
you started like with the portfolio, did you have anything at all in the city? Because I know that like you and I have talked, and like a few of the other guys on the team had talked, like
I
that
did.
transition of the portfolio.
I didn't, but a lot of people they did start in the city because you can buy
Yeah,
more,
and you kind of work your way out.
and you kind of work your way out.
Start with
Yeah.
one, liquidate something, start with one single. Just kind of, what we've talked about, just kind of
A lot of
shifting it
people
over
do that.
time. Yeah.
Start in the city, get like, a couple here and there, and then you phase out, you trade
So,
up type of thing. you know?
And I've had an opportunity, like, Joe and I have talked so much that I already know the answers to the questions I'm going to ask him
Mhm.
because I've
Yeah.
asked him all these questions. There's a lot to be said when, people get 5 or 6 properties or 7 properties, they fish that stuff out to a property manager. No, listen, nothing wrong with property managers. We work with some phenomenal property managers. All of your properties, I know you manage yourself. And one thing you've always told me, you're like, hey, listen, man, I take care of everything. I don't skimp on anything that I do. If I got to get a furnace, I get the right furnace. If I got to get the air conditioning, I get the right air conditioning. If I get a roof, I have it done properly.
Yep.
And it seems that takes away a lot of stress and a lot of other things that you might have to do if you were to try to go, I don't want to say the cheaper route,
Give it the landlord special.
the landlord
Yeah.
special,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
Would you agree that that's probably something that's really kind of took a lot of stress off your plate?
Oh yeah. I mean, little
Doing
things
the right
turn
things
into
up
big
front.
things. Yeah. I mean, little problems turn into big problems.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, if the roof is leaking, instead of throwing tar up there or just band-aiding that,
Let's legitimately
Just do it
fix
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, plus the
obviously
tenants
doing-
would appreciate it too,
Oh,
because they
yeah.
know you're putting.
Yeah.
If you're putting extra effort into the property and doing the right things, and they see that you're not doing things that are just like, I don't really care about them.
Yeah.
You're caring about them.
Yeah, you're a good landlord rather
You-
than a slumlord.
Yeah.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, now they're making the rents on time.
So they
and they're
know
doing-
you care, so they're going to care to pay you.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, that's always been my golden rule.
Right.
I take care of them; they take care of me, and it's worked out for me. I've had to do maybe 2 evictions.
That's great.
2 evictions. One was ugly, and the other one was ugly.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was our-
That makes
that was
sense.
our-
Yeah. they're
At
both
least
ugly.
it's only 2 though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, and honestly, I've had a lot of tenants move out, but
Right.
we come to an agreement. They lose their job.
Stuff happens.
Stuff
yeah.
happens. Life
Right.
happens, And
Right.
I'm like, well, look, obviously I have bills attached to this house.
Right.
So you can't stay here
Right.
for free. Just like I can't. I have to
And if
pay.
there's something that we could do to figure it out,
So-
that's great. But
So I still give them their security deposit back, or we work a deal.
yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
I give them till the end of the month, or we just talk it out.
Right.
And I always feel like if you treat them good, they'll treat you good.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
we come across
Right.
stuff that's like being managed by like a management company, like it's just different.
Oh yeah.
Like even for us, like trying to get a hold of somebody for an answer
yeah.
on something,
Yeah.
it's
It could
like
take days.
it takes days, or
Yeah.
you get 12 different answers. So it's like I feel like that private
There's a few of them
landlord.
out there that we've made some connections with. I know
Yes,
that
that's not
3 of
go.
us
It doesn't
have,
go for everybody,
but they're few and far between.
Very.
That will really answer your phone call, do the right things, help you understand situations, help you
Yeah.
with the tenant. I mean, they're
And I
there's a
feel
few
like
of them out
that's
there.
such a, I wish more, and a lot of people do invest here locally, like just that are local to Rochester. They invest in Rochester, but like I feel like that's kind of that missing gap a little bit. It's
Well,
like
no
just
one will
don't
ever-
dish it off. Don't dish it
Yeah.
off. Like
Oh,
be
yeah.
present to your stuff.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a $30,000, turnover bill because some person trashed your place. They don't know who you are.
Right.
It's a lot hard to not pay the person
more
when you know what they
personal.
look like. Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, no one will ever watch your investment like you.
Of course.
So
of
that's
course.
a lot of the reason I do it myself.
Yeah.
Because if a tenant calls me, there's not a 1 hour window where I won't return a call.
100%.
If they text me, literally, probably while I'm here, I maybe
Yeah.
got a couple texts, maybe from tenants or maybe.
I'm going to get
from
back to
anybody.
you. Yeah.
I'll get back to them immediately.
Yep.
Because, like I said, little problems always turn into big problems. They
Well, and
never
that's-
go away.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, how many times have you walked into a place and they're like, "Oh yeah, we've told the management company 12 times about this.
Yeah.
Nobody's been over here."
Yeah.
But
true.
they always answer when the rent's
Well, like I
supposed
said,
to be
what
paid.
I've noticed about the way he does his business is he does things the right way up front. He puts the right, right flooring in there. He does
Yeah.
the right, paints the place really nice, puts new kitchens in. Like he puts nice things in there and then manages it himself. And it seems to, and treat the tenants like they want to be treated.
Yeah.
Like,
You'll always have a
and
little
respect
clean
it.
out, but you can solve a lot of your own
But
headaches.
it sounds like that's the recipe right there. That's
Right.
the recipe to make sure that you do things the right way. You answer your phone calls. They got a problem. You acknowledge it and you understand that's a problem to them. So you're going
Right.
to want to do what you're going to do. And small problems become big problems. So if you take that recipe, it seems like we're going to.
We're
have some
cooking with
success.
gas. Yeah, we're cooking with gas.
We're definitely cooking.
Yeah.
Definitely cooking. What else you want to leave us with, Joe? Because I think we're at the end of our time here.
I don't really. I mean, we covered a lot.
Yeah.
I think we covered a
did.
lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So I mean, that was like more of a rapid fire session, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
we machine gunned them over
I
here, but
appreciate you guys having me. I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but I do this, so if I can ever help or
Yep.
you guys can ask me anything. I'm pretty transparent. If there's anything that you guys want to know, I'll answer.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on
thank
today.
you.
Coming on.
Thank
We've been
you.
trying to get Joe. Listen, guys, shows how busy he is. We've been trying to get Joe on for 2 months now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
About 2 months since we started this podcast. So we're glad we finally got him on, and I really appreciate your time today, buddy.
Oh,
Thank you for coming
guys.
on. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.